I am Jeresther Thorpe-Page. I am an elementary school principal, a mom of 3, and I quilt. I decided to become an elementary school or school teacher early on. And then I got in the classroom, that very first classroom, and I remember one of the little kiddos, this little boy that said, Miss, how long you gonna be here? And I was like, oh honey, I just went and bought me a Saturn and it's gonna be delivered next week, so I'm gonna be here for a while, dear. But as I was looking at this cute little kid, I saw my brothers. I saw the boys from back on the block in my neighborhood, and I saw them, and all I could think was, every hope and dream that I have for myself and for my family and for my future, I have for you. Finding that pursuit of happiness, finding your joy, finding the things that make you happy. As an educator, I'm passionate about teaching and learning. I'm passionate about it in all kind of levels, because the heart of it comes back to access. And I will say that I truly believe in how best to heal the world's problems than to educate our children, to make sure that they are fed and well taken care of, and that they have the supplies, the basic supplies and resources that they need. How can we better think of, what better way can we think of to heal some of the world's problem? And so that comes back to, it always comes back to access and opportunity, and why I value education so much. And I look at that, being raised by a single parent mom, after my dad passed away, and it was, my mom had 4 little kiddos, and I was the youngest of 4, and I wasn't even 4 years old, but in her knowing that she wanted the very best for us, and that was going to start with our education and making sure that we were all well educated. And that started with her mom, who only had an 8th grade education, and who was a sharecropper's daughter. And at the early death of my grandma's parents, she was sent to Kentucky, where she ended up marrying my grandfather, and he was a coal miner. And so we talk about that. We talk about how my mom was raised in Lynch, Kentucky, in the coal mines, and what that meant to be a black coal miner back in those days. And they say the first one in and the last one's out. And and my grandmother, though, you would have never known she only had an 8th grade education, because she was so incredibly intelligent and so smart. And I remember learning how to read at her knee, and it was the Bible, because that is what they did not, I think they all missed it. They were supposed to just be giving me some little those old Bob books. No. They had, I was sounding out words from the Bible, and that's absolutely fine. But what my grandmother gave us and what she added in was that education. So that's that natural passion, that natural drive in there. Seeing my grandmother's drive after my grandfather had passed away of black lung from working in the coal mines, and then the older children, my mother and a couple brothers, had already migrated to Indiana, and then her making that decision to get the rest of the 7 and scoop up everyone and make that transition as well, to keep the family system whole and together. The root of it always education. My grandmother would always tell, especially the girls, and I know people are like, well, that's not feminist nowadays, but she did tell us all the time, you get those books, and then those boys, but you have those books first. And so we would always laugh about that, but grandma was serious, and we knew she was serious. Every one of my cousins and my sister and myself, we all knew that, and because our mothers also said the same thing. And so that's that natural drive for me. It's going to be that natural passion, because I see it when I look into the Black community, when I look in communities of underrepresented minorities, and I see what is that change agent? What is the one thing that really united, that really made the greatest impact, the most significant and sustainable impact, was that opportunity to quality and good education that helped open doors. Because now you can decipher, you can navigate a system, and I watch it with my kids. So then that's there. So that's that natural drive. So I'm naturally going to, and not even know that I'm going 100 miles an hour, putting in 80 hours here at work. But then I have my 3 children, and my husband, and so what we always did in our careers, and we do now, we bring them along with us. You know, if there was function and activities going on in my school, my kids were there. They were volunteering, and they were being a part of that community, and they were being a part of what we were doing. And I went into the little quilt shop, and I started chatting, and they were like, well, can you quilt? Well, I'm a motivated beginner. Can you piece? And I was like, yeah, I have a lot of peace in my heart. What are you talking about? Yes, peace, and I'm pieced all out. And they were just like, well, you definitely seem like you're really excited to do this. And so it was the start of not just quilting, but finding that that balance, that place, that there's no rush. That whole piecing and that foundation, and I could instantly relate it to education and in curriculum and instruction, how you have those beginning foundation pieces, and that you want to get that just right, and you want to get those practices right.
I thank God every day for the blessing of my mom, for putting her in my life. Passionate, driven, strong-minded, but elegant and graceful, and just dignified, perfect.
She does so much stuff behind the scenes that we don't even know about. She's always at school, she's talking to our teachers, she's making sure everything we need happens. She just has this amazing ability to make people happy.
And also, depending on your grades, she's the person you want to avoid when you get home with the report card. How to get around people in the world and not be a bit of the introvert in class and talk and get to know people. She really taught me how to be out there in the world.
I am Jeresther Thorpe-Page. I am an elementary school principal, a mom of 3, and I quilt.